Shavasa.
Greetings, viewers. Greetings, Edgewenka. In fact, I'm so happy to hear that it's Easter. Well, so many things to talk about. And we can talk about Virgin Gorda Festival, but we're going to get to Virgin Gorda in a while. Let's start with the 2016 Appropriation Act debate in the House of Assembly, opened by Premier and Minister of Finance, Dr. Orlando Smith, earlier today, March 22nd. In fact, in the presentation, in the Premier's presentation, he basically suggested that the budget of $330 million for the financial year 2016-2017 is probably not enough. He pointed to a few cost-cutting measures, and he even suggested that increments for public servants was looked at as one area of securing additional funding for government to finance a number of projects. He listed some areas where he figured, or the government thinks require priority expenditure to ensure that they meet the needs of the residents. Let's hear him in this clip.
The BVI International Affairs, the BVI Airports Authority, that do need some extra funding, and the Burgess Bay Dock Rehabilitation. This is an item, Madam Speaker, that's been brought to us over the years by our colleague, the Honorable Alvaro Maduro Keynes. And I thought it is important that we do support that because it is necessary that this dock be rehabilitated and done. Madam Speaker, to provide for these important areas, savings had to be found by reducing allocations in other sectors of the budget. And some of these, Madam Speaker, included reduction in the capital funding to ministries, reduction in travel and entertainment costs, and others. One of the things which we looked at, Madam Speaker, was increments. And we thought that recognized that increments are earned, we could reduce the provision in the budget. And when the total increments were determined and become due, then that would be supplemented as necessary, so that all increments will be paid during the year. However, Madam Speaker, on further revision of the estimates, we have been able to avoid that, and the civil servants will receive their full increments, and that will be reflected in the budget for this year.
And, listening to the Premier basically assure public servants that they will get their increments this year. I recall a discussion with him on Mosquito Island at the regional Sargassum conference held there Monday to Tuesday, where he indicated to me, in fact, he dispelled myths that his health is failing and that there is confusion in the government over leadership of the government. He assured me, and he told me I can say this publicly, that there is no such problem. He is in good health. Of course, we know the Premier does struggle somewhat while speaking, and you heard him clearing his throat a while ago. But he says he's in good health and he's not going anywhere. So I guess that that is something for the rumor mill. But nevertheless, moving on to the Virgin Gorda issue in terms of the bats, you may argue that the government is doing well. They're bringing in hundreds of thousands of visitors. However, there seems to be a concern in terms of the influx of visitors and all of that concentration on one particular area, the bats. I recalled in 2013, 2014, I learned for the first time that over 80,000 visitors go to the bats annually. Imagine now with the figures being over 700,000 passengers, what's going to happen. Let's hear 9th District Representative Honorable Hubert O'Neill comment on that issue.
I am, however, a bit concerned, Madam Speaker, about the impact of over 700,000 cruise passengers per annum and rising. This sort of impact that is having on our heritage sites such as the baths in Virgin Gorda. We cannot afford, Madam Speaker, to spoil the visitor experience in the BVI just as a result of the sheer numbers and overcrowding that this marvel of the baths presents to the world.
This presents a conundrum, a rather interesting situation there where you're looking for increased visitors and at the same time there is a concern over the concentration of visitors in one particular area or on some of the heritage and other natural sites and so forth.
Yeah. Well, did you hear anything about investing in other heritage sites to spread the tourists around so that you don't have overcrowding in any one particular area and or other heritage sites, a few more heritage sites and parks in Virgin Gorda that could benefit from the extra tourists? Did you hear anything about
Well, that has been an ongoing discussion. The challenge seems to be the interest from the visitors, because many people seem to prefer to go to the baths. And it's going to be, well, I would say difficult, but I'm sure others would say challenging to have the other sites develop and make them attractive enough for folks to want to go there. For example, Cane Garden Bay attracts a large number of people, whether it's crowded or whether the seas are rough or not. Whereas other areas are quite tranquil and pristine, and folks choose not to go there. So it's going to be, I think a collaborative effort between the local tourism authorities and the cruise liners to convince their customers that they should explore other opportunities when they visit the BVI.
Yeah, well, I think perhaps they need to. I thought they would be looking at some form of expansion of the baths area where persons could go to the baths but still have other activities in that environment.
Well, there's Devil's Bay. You can go around to Devil's Bay, but at the same time, it's a small area, and really, you remember so many incidents there.
But
had to restrict boats from going too close to land and so forth.
We don't usually acknowledge it, but when you look at the baths, you could classify it as one of the wonders of the world.
Definitely,
and
I think for
that
alone, it's a big sell.
It's a big attraction.
So there's a challenge. Of course, it's just $3 for visitors to enter. Residents, if I recall, if that figure hasn't risen, I'm not sure, but I suspect it's still $3 for adults.
Well, certainly you would hope that the cost would go up if there's such a great demand.
Yes.
Then you could
maybe you
perhaps
could
make some more
suggest
money.
20 or 40 or 50.
I don't know. I know, but for example, in Barbados, where you have the caves, I think the Harrison Caves,
and
yes. Which is very, very popular,
right.
Similar to the baths. It's
yes.
a natural phenomenon similar to the baths.
Yes.
There's a lot of expansion going on around that area and growth. And certainly, I don't know what we could do.
I'm not the Minister of Tourism.
In a similar vein for
Fair enough. But I would suggest a quota maybe. So if the figure is 100 per day, for argument's sake, and when there's a cutoff point, then you tell other people, oops, you missed it, you got to try next time. I don't know.
One of the things I was hoping to hear in the budget, and perhaps we'll hear it tomorrow. I'm not sure if there's going to be a tomorrow, but if maybe we'll hear it in the future, is the economic growth projections.
Yes.
We hear
as a result of the influx of the tourists and the spill-off effect and so forth.
We hear about cost-cutting measures,
yes.
which is great, but I'd like to hear something about projections of revenue as well, where we looking to gain more from the investments that we've made in the ports.
Yes.
And the potential investments that we're about to make in the airport and our heritage site developments and infrastructure developments. Certainly, there has to be some return on those investments, and I'm hoping to hear about projected figures on economic growth.
And also staying on budget,
coming from those investments.
Operating within the confines of the budget. You heard Honorable Archibald Christian, the at-large representative, expressing concerns that there's over $600,000 still outstanding for festival monies owing to artists and other vendors in 2015. That figure is rather exorbitant for some. I can imagine what $600,000 would do for the Virgin Gorda Easter Festival.
Well, we're going to hear from the members of the committee in Virgin Gorda what they have done to stay within their budget. I think that we have way too many artists per night. To where
too many parties, as Christian said.
Too many artists.
So too many artists.
Too many artists in the night. To the point where the artists not coming on till 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
By the time you're tired.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. I don't think we need to have 3-4 international artists a night in any area.
Sounds like an interesting discussion that the nation should embark
Yes,
on.
we need
in
to take
very
a
intelligent way.
look at the festivals and how we conduct them in entertainment segment, particularly how those are happening. Anyway,
There you go, food for thought.
we're looking forward to closure of the passing of the budget, so the country could start money should start flowing into the country again. Because I think right now there seems to be a slowdown in circulation.
And it has to pass
Yeah.
no later than March according to law. So we're close to that.
So
point.
with the passing of the budget, hopefully
Yes.
money could circulate and things get to be more liquid. So we're hoping for that to happen in the next
Well, it
few
has
hours.
to happen this week, pretty much.
Next few hours, right?
Yes.
Thanks a lot for that report, Sean.